Welcome back to Housewarming, your inside look at real Irish homes transforming for a greener energy future. I'm Kim Buckley, and this week we're back for more from James Kavanagh. On episode 1, we heard about James's new house in Kilkenny, and on this episode we're diving deeper into all of his amazing renovation plans in what he calls his squishy Irish design style. Also in this episode, I travelled to Sligo to get a tour of homeowner Hilda O'Shea's ambitious renovation project. She is transforming her 300-year-old home into a warm, energy-efficient haven for her growing family. She's even had the full Grand Designs experience living in a caravan on site and with a baby on the way. First though, let's catch up with James. James, welcome back to Housewarming. Thank you so much for joining us again. You were on with us previously. For those who haven't listened or heard that episode, bring us up to speed. You were living in Dublin for 11 years and you moved to the countryside. Bring us up to speed. Tell us everything about your life so far.
So myself and William are living a year now, just over a year in Kilkenny. We're just outside Graignamanagh, which is this picture perfect, postcard gorgeous village. We're near Burris as well, which is just Carlow. We're near Inistioge. These gorgeous little villages are around us, and we're really loving our new countryside life. We're growing our own food in the garden. We've made loads of lovely connections with suppliers and stuff, which is great because we run a food truck in Shankill Castle in Kilkenny. So we're really settled into our area, but now we're ready for the renovation of the house. So that's kind of ahead of us now. So we're kind of building up to that. We want to get the house properly insulated, avail of different grants, which is exciting to kind of really see the amount of stuff you can avail of. We got our solar panels in. So now is just, we're gearing up for that renovation.
So in terms of energy efficiency in your new gorgeous home, what is the dream?
I'd obviously like to not be seeing my breath in the corridor in the winter, especially when it comes to 5 p.m. or whatever. It's me and William are sitting there shivering on the couch. So that would be great to not be frostbitten. But I'd also love a nice bath situation and not have to depend on the piddly electric shower, because I know when you have the solar panels and stuff, you can direct some of that into heating the water tank. And there's a really good air to water system too, pump, which is amazing. So I think we're probably going to go down that route. I'm mad for a bath, so it would be nice to have a bath that's not full with cold water and hot water, which is the kind of situation at the moment. We have a tiny little tank. I love a seaweed bath. I love to stew in a seaweed bath.
Lovely.
But if you want a seaweed bath, you have to have a good hot water system, and we just do not have that at the moment at all. So I'm looking forward to not having to think about everything, every little move we're making, and having the oil to heat the water for a million hours before we put on the bath, because I've seen you can get apps and stuff, so when you're on the way home you can switch the heating on or start the water being heated, or everything in our house at the moment is so archaic. So
and you have to pre-plan a lot of things.
Pre-plan a lot of things, yeah. And if I want a bath, it's my bath for the day, and William can't have a bath because the tank is so tiny and it's all very archaic and higgledy-piggledy and stuff. So I'm looking forward to just having the luxury of having an app to heat things up when I'm outside, and things to come on in the morning. At the moment we have that you'd need a NASA kind of degree to see that thingy with all the weird numbers around the thermometer thing.
Okay.
So a lot of our stuff just hasn't been touched since the 90s, I'd say. So I'm just really excited for that kind of thing, and not to be having drafts everywhere. There's drafts coming in all angles of the house, and the house is gorgeous, but you can tell it was just done patchworky over the years, and nothing was done properly. So it all needs to be rewired and that kind of thing. So while I'm looking forward to different wallpapers and picking out colours and stuff, I am looking forward to just having a very up-to-date spec house.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get that, because the pre-planning a bath or shower is just, come on, it's 2025, people.
I'm 36.
I know, yeah.
I don't want to have to do that anymore.
You want to have a spontaneous bath.
Yes.
When is the work starting?
Hopefully this year. So I'm working alongside a friend of mine, Deirdre. She has a design company called Tandem. So she's helping us with the design of it. She's talking to a contractor at the moment, a really good local contractor who will kind of get our plumbers, our builders, our bricklayers, all that sort of stuff. So she's kind of putting all these renders together. We're kind of narrowing in on exactly what I need done. I'm hoping this year.
Will you have to move out?
Yeah, but I'm also hoping to put a shipping container down the end of the garden, like a sort of shipping container showmra
Stop.
thing. Yeah, that was always kind of in our plan eventually to have
And you and William will live down there?
Well, that's what we're thinking. So we were
God.
always going to have a converted shipping container situation down the end for guests, and we were going to cut off the back of it and just put like a big glass wall because the views of Mount Leinster are incredible from down the end of the garden, and have a sort of like work studio situation and a bed and maybe a little kitchen and toilet.
Oh my God, can I come?
Absolutely, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Our little shed down the end of the garden. So we're thinking, hang on, why don't we put that in ASAP? So then me and William could live down there. Because the other plan is to live in Currabinny, where William's family home is. But we're like, it might make sense for us to be on site.
And tend to your garden.
Yeah, and tend to the garden, because I also want to launch a YouTube channel of like the renovation happening and all that. So I think me being there would be handy.
Yes.
So kind of hoping to put that in the next month or two.
Wow.
And then we could move down there and then get the renovations done. Because it is one of those renovations where you couldn't live in it when it's being done. Floors need to be brought up.
Okay. And also then, if you're there on site and if you have somewhere to live, there won't be a set time where you need to be back in, because these things often get delayed.
Oh, they always do.
Yeah, so you can just, go with the flow. You're going to be there anyway. Wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, so we'll have a little, it would be great eventually when we move back into the house, then we'll have a little place for friends to come, because what I found from being the only one really in my friend group who isn't city based, and I mean that I have friends in Cork and stuff, but a lot of my friends seem to be mainly city based in London and that kind of thing. I'm kind of the only one out of us who is living in the countryside in Ireland. I found I'm the bolt hole now, so they'll all be kind of, they're dying for a little weekend of mine, and it's really lovely to host and that kind of thing. So I think to have a little space down the end where friends who are stressed out can come and spend the week there, and just it'd be nice to be able to host people, and also for them to have their own space and maybe not be in the house. We can have someone for a week and not have to worry. So.
Yeah, and your parents?
And my parents have already claimed it. They're like, that's our little granny flat now down the end. I'm like, no, it'll be scheduled.
Don't let it be called a granny flat, because they will move in.
I know, yeah.
Let's get into it. You're self-titled Minister for Aesthetics.
Well, yes.
You will put a packet of meanies in a waterfall crystal jar. You want everything to look amazing. You take the mundane and you make it beautiful. What is the house going to be like? What is your design inspiration? What is it going to look like? We're
leaning into the fact that it's a cottagey type situation in the countryside. So we want that cosy cottage, cosy Cotswoldsy type, squishy. It's in like some of the magazines as like squishy English, but like, there's gorgeous places in Ireland. So squishy Irish, I'm going to say.
Okay.
So just like, I want people to come into the house and not feel like they can't touch off things, or not feel like they're, they can't sit on the good couch. Like, I want everything to be very approachable and very comfy.
Can we keep our shoes on?
Probably, yeah, because we'll see about that now. See how good the floors are. But we like, me and William are marching through the house the whole time with our wellies, and it has to be that kind of inside outside house. So I don't want to. You'll have to scrub your feet on the in
the boot room.
Well, yeah, we're having a boot room.
Okay.
Fully having a boot room.
Yes.
And I really want like some of the bedrooms to be kind of that, that wall to ceiling wallpaper, like gorgeous floral wallpapers, really gorgeous beds, Foxford linens everywhere. We're looking at a Bursa's only range for the kitchen. The kitchen dining room has to be a very, it's where everyone will be really when we come over, because we're constantly having dinner parties in the heart of the house. Yeah. We're not afraid of colour as well. Like, there's a big drive towards minimalism and that kind of thing, but we want deep colours around the place. We're looking at, nice forest greens. I love yellows. We have plans for like 2 of those, that I think they're called Dutch farmhouse doors that open like that, and you kind of hang on the door and watch your flowers grow.
Feed the chickens.
So yeah, I want a very like lived in kind of feeling about the house, and just want people to come and immediately feel comfortable and just throw it, because it is all my friends from Dublin City or London who are coming, so I want people to come and just be like and just feel relaxed.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And you said you love colour, you want deep colours, and you're not minimalist in any way.
No.
Do you have an interior design ick?
Interior design ick? I think mainly like people who design for the aesthetic rather than the feeling, or like how you're going to feel day to day, or what you want. Like, I've always had like a dream couch situation in my mind, I love Sophie Conran sofas. If anyone's listening and looking for sofa porn, Sophie Conran sofas are just like delicious, like really like bold stripes, and they're just gorgeous. But I always thought I wanted a couch with like not an L couch, but you can buy like beautiful L couches, and we got just a really cheap couch for the moment, because we're going to buy all our furniture and the fancy stuff for when the house is done up. But now that I'm like lying on an L couch most nights, I'm like, no, actually I want an L couch because like it's what I feel comfortable in. So I think when you design for Instagram, or you design for like a Pinterest board in mind, you're going to miss the mark. Like you're going to spend a lot of time there. It should be a comfortable place, and it should be somewhere. So like design with like your possessions in mind, your knickknacks in mind. If you love a painting or a lamp that you've always had, maybe work from those colours and put them on the wall. So yeah, we're designing with our knickknacks and bits and bobs in mind.
And also another reason or an argument why you should live in a space before jumping in and renovating. Now you want an L couch.
Exactly.
And whereas before you could have ended up with a curved couch, which looks stunning on Instagram, but actually isn't really comfy to cozy up on.
To be there day in, day out, 100%. So yeah, we're designing our house for comfort and for feeling chill and relaxed in, more so than aesthetics. But luckily the aesthetics we like are kind of stunning. Like I love that cozy Cotswoldsy country vibes. So that's
Soho
kind of what
farmhouse.
Yeah, exactly. So that we're kind of leaning into that sort of stuff. I want to look like I'm in an Enid Blyton novel, do you know, with the local post office where the beavers go, and yeah, I want to live in Mr. Toad's house.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
A little mushroom.
Yeah. Well, wind in the willows is what I want to be.
Is William on the same page with all of this?
Yeah, he is. And to be honest, he's influenced me in many ways, because his house in Currabinny is kind of that feeling. Like it's just a really comfy, cozy, gorgeous space to be in. So we've kind of borrowed a lot of, aesthetics and stuff from that house, and that way of living as well, and not being afraid of muck, and not being afraid of mud, and not being afraid to sit anywhere you want, and just be a place where you can kind of just be.
So you're going to be chilling on the couch. William is going to be cooking a delicious dinner that will be served on the gorgeous antique sideboard.
Yeah.
Where is your favourite spot in the house? Is that it on the couch, or where is it?
Probably the hammock under the apple trees. Yeah. And that was just a little hammock I got online for like €30. Didn't think anything of it. And it's just like bliss. Like I spend so much of my time there. I bring my blanket, bring my laptop, do my work there. And that, that just kind of proves that, I guess, because we viewed loads of houses and said no to loads of houses, and we really stuck out for a mature garden, and a garden that like just made us like excited when we seen it first. And I'm so glad we did, because the garden is kind of our favourite place of the house, do you know?
That's amazing.
So yeah, definitely the hammock.
And when the renovation is done, you can look at it and admire it from the hammock.
Yes. Also, another favourite place of mine is going to be our guest bedroom, which is kind of like off the house in like a garagey feeling room, but we have really stunning plans for it. But we're putting the bath in there, and then we're having these doors that completely open up. So when you're in the bath, you're almost in the garden as well. And I love the idea of being in a hot bath in the winter, like with the kind of cold air coming in on you. And the bed is going to be in there as well. So like, I'm just loving the idea of a nap in the bed with the doors open, and maybe the lashing rain happening. And
oh my God, it sounds amazing.
An inside outside house is what it is, you know.
And in terms of the energy efficiency of the home, you cannot get more sustainable than doing a home energy upgrade and bringing the home up to an A rating. Is that important to you?
Yeah, almost kind of like living off grid is what we wanted as well. And the fact that like we have those solar panels, we can feed back into the grid when you have overloaded and you can make money back and all that sort of stuff is great and fun. But being kind of conscious about where we are and not having oil, relying on oil and all that sort of stuff is important too. And like we've been, doing different things around the place to be more kind of, environment focused and conscious as well. Like we have a big mulching bay down the end of the garden where we, mulch all our garden clippings and stuff. And then we use that back in the polytunnel, which gives us great vegetables. And we have a really cool compost bin called the hopping composter. Google that if you're curious. It basically composts things within 30 days rather than like a couple of months. It's really fast. So we're doing things like that, and then we want to get chickens because we can feed them the scraps, and then we get eggs back. So being kind of conscious about the environment or, eco-focused doesn't have to be crusty, and it doesn't have to be something that's like kind of, eye-rolly. It can pay back, and it can be kind of glam as well. Like having your own chickens and growing your own stuff and composting, like that's a really nice way to live, and a very accessible way to live as well. Like anyone can have a compost bin in the, if you have a garden, and if you are wanting a house that has a garden, you can kind of have a little one or two chickens down the end of the garden or grow your own stuff. Like you can do amazing things in tiny gardens too. I've seen all over TikTok people in London are growing their own veg up walls and that kind of thing. So there's loads you can do no matter what space you live in as well.
And you're into vintage, you're into secondhand, you're into pre-loved, you like things with a story.
Yeah.
Are you sustainable in that aspect of your life? And have you got secondhand furniture? And do you hope to bring some pre-loved and secondhand furniture into the new renovated home?
Yeah, and I think that's an easy win and an easy, immediate way to get character into a room is to get salvage stuff. Like I love Kilkenny Salvage Yard. I'm always sniffing around there for things. We're getting, hopefully, our floors from them, and they're floors from barns that were like one of them was like a sugar mill in the 1900s, and he has loads of that wood. And if you put that in your house, that's like an immediate like feeling of like history and character. So like buying old tables or old paintings or old floorboards and putting them and using them around your house is just a great way to get character like so quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously, vintage clothes, vintage furniture, secondhand furniture, everyone's into it. It's cool. It's, we're all, looking up Instagram, trying to find the bargains. But sustainable energy and energy efficiency in the home is almost more important in terms of being environmentally friendly and in terms of climate action. How do we get young people and millennials, Gen Zs, people buying homes, how do we get them invested in sustainable energy?
Well, not only, as I said, and you've touched on there, great for the planet, good for, future generations, all that sort of stuff, but it's great for your own pocket. And if that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. Like, by investing in solar panels, you're going to be knocking chunks off your bill in the years to come. Properly insulating a house, you're not going to need to turn on the radiators all the time. You're not going to need to use the underfloor heating. So, yeah, it's great to be environmentally conscious and stuff, but it's a really good thing to do in a selfish way for your own pocket and your own bills and that kind of thing. And also it increases the value of your house. So if you are kind of getting your first time house and put these little investments in, you're going to get your money back when you're selling it on, or if you're moving on somewhere else. So I think there's loads of ways to do it. And also if you're a bit of a little nerd when it comes to like tech stuff, seeing like your solar panels like work on the app is like thrilling in itself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I know I don't have solar panels myself, but everyone, that's the one thing they say is the app is just like watching your bank balance increase.
It's like watching like a Tamagotchi or something, and you're seeing like the things go in and the wheels spinning. So yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so you've got your gorgeous garden established. Your house is, your dream is there. The renovation is happening.
We're on the way.
Where do you see yourself? Where are you and William sitting, and what are you doing? Show me the dream, show me the vision.
Well, as I said, the garden is what we fell in love with mainly. So I think like summer is just gorgeous down there, sunny southeast. So I think like our dream is just like open dinners in the garden. Like we had a really lovely long table dinner like when we first moved in, and the sheets were blowing in the evening breeze, and like me and William were coming out with different plates of food, and we just love hosting now. So I think like having loads of friends down, having a couple of bedrooms to like host people in, like that's kind of the dream for me. And the hammock in the garden under the apple trees, just being able to go in and out of the house and have loads of people over, like that is the dream. And we're kind of living it already. So like the fact we're like on the brink of like doing up the house and we'll have all that kind of stuff sorted soon. I'm like so excited for it to get even better than it already is, you know, that way.
Oh my God, maybe I'll join you there. Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely, James. Thanks a million. I loved that chat. From one dream home to another, let's go over to Hilda and her beautiful old house in Sligo. Hilda is right in the middle of things at the moment, with the house beginning to take shape. On a very rainy morning, she showed us around the building before we sat down for a chat. So this would be the front door then?
We were meant to put on the porch, so yeah, this is the main entrance, but this was always the entrance that they used like when his grandmother and grandfather had it, you know, because this was the kitchen bit, but now we've it all open plan, and we've a back door the extension. So yeah, it's all covered up now. So, but my partner did all the printed printed plaster, so it's kind of like that country style.
And will you have to paint that or no?
Oh, you can actually see it here. Yeah. So actually, you can get a good kind of look of what it's like in this room. So yeah, he's going to paint. We'll paint it like some kind of white, maybe like cottage white or something.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I know, because it's kind of textured. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's probably not the best example of it, like some in the other room, like but I know it's covered now, but this is the utility room, so there'll be kind of shelves and stuff in here.
Mm-hmm. And where's your kitchen?
So the kitchen's going to be in here, because it looks big from the outside, but then on the inside, you know.
So you're going to have a fire here, and you're going to be able to see it from the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely way to break up an open space, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, because the heart of here used to be the Stanley range.
Oh yes.
You know, so that was always lit. There was
that's
no
where
radiator.
The chimney is, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no radiator or anything in this house. It was just a Stanley range.
Yeah.
So like they didn't have anything modern. But yeah, we did go with the fire because, you know, we are in the country and like, obviously there's loads of storms, so we were keen to kind of keep that bit.
Gorgeous.
But I'm sure we won't need it too much with the heat pump and all that.
Wow. And over here is like your living room, your TV, and then the stairs is going to come down there.
So yeah, the stairs then will come down here and down here.
Yeah.
So like when you're going up, you'll go up by the window. Oh. And I kind of love about the house that like this was the downstairs bathroom. You kind of know where you were.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the bedroom. Okay. But now it's just all one space.
Yes. So tell me about this door, Hilda. Go on.
So it's actually meant to be more energy efficient because it's like a window in a door as opposed to the half doors. They lose their seal. So yeah, you just flick it up and you just open it out and then feed your chickens. And actually, I'll be able to show you where. I'll show you, like, so we had an ash tree, and it fell in the storm, but I think they had to spray the end to prevent from cracking or something. But that's going to be like our countertops and our table as well. Whereas otherwise it just would have been like cut up, you know. This actually is his grandfather's tractor. So he hunted that down. He wanted to find his grandfather's tractor. So obviously his grandfather owned the house, and and he found who his mother sold it to, and then who he sold it to, he knew who he sold it to. So anyway, he was able to find the tractor after all those years, after like 30 something years, and he did it up and he brought it to the tractor. Well, barely did it up, made it functional, but has plans for it.
So where are we, Hilda?
So this is our humble abode, the mobile home that we've been living in for the last over a year and a half. which has actually been a godsend, and we've been really grateful to have it, and it's kept us nice and warm and cozy, and it's been great because we're right on site for any decisions, and there's actually nowhere to rent in Sligo. If you looked it up, there's like 3 places on Daft, so we're very lucky that we can stay here rent free and get to live in this beautiful countryside, be right beside the house. So, because there's always something to be done. Gorgeous.
We're in your mobile home, but you're not planning on staying here for long. What's the plan?
We're doing up, so right beside us, just outside, we're doing up a over 300-year-old house that used to be a servants' quarters to another bigger house. And it's been in my partner's family since his great-grandfather. His grandfather lived here, grew up here, and his mother grew up here. And it's been derelict for over 15 years since his granny moved out. She passed away when she was 102, May Cohn, so I have to give her a shout out. So yeah, no, and we're very lucky that we get to do it up. And it's just really exciting. So we've been there from the start. We gutted it out, cleaned it up, and have been just working on it now, doing build work. So yeah.
So you met your partner in Australia. You moved home to Ireland. And was it the plan to renovate this massive, detached, 300-year-old servants' quarters?
Yeah, so I think I was happy enough to move to Sligo because I'm from Cork originally. So, and obviously there was this house that was just kind of going to wreck and ruin that nearly was forgotten about, but it was beautiful. I mean, my partner do love kind of older things. So, and his grandmother apparently used to always say to him, "Oh, there's a fine house up there, you could do that up." But he was always like, "Nah, I'm never going to do that." So it's a shame she never got to see us do it. But it just kind of became the plan. We just started doing it. The minute we came back, we started clearing out the site and cleaning up the house. And it was a long enough process doing all that, even to be honest. And then waiting for contractors and mortgages and all that. So... But it just became the plan. It kind of just one of those things that just kind of happened.
Mm-hmm. And what was the initial plan for the house? I know it's 300 years old. What was the overall vision?
Well, we like I said, we both kind of do kind of older things. So we just kind of keep it as much as it is that we could, and be true to the old kind of style of the house and kind of cottage theme. So that's what we're doing now, I suppose, keeping it as old as we can. We're putting in nice looking old doors and reuse what we could as well. Like we reused the slates. And we're the textures of the walls, we're using printed plaster. So it really gives the walls that country look, even though it's modernly done up, it's completely airtight. And we took a tour around, and the walls are kind of textured lime wash, so it does have that really old country house feel. So obviously you want to pay homage to obviously the heritage of the house. It's an old house, but obviously you're retrofitting it, you're bringing it up to modern standards. I mean, the BER is going to be... Do you know what the BER might be when it's finished? We're aiming to go for about a B1 at the minute, because we're not putting in renewables at the moment. We will in the future, because I suppose budget-wise and we can't do it all. But so it will be that kind of B1 space.
So how did you marry the old, staying true to the history of the house while also bringing it up to modern standards? Like, was that difficult for you to visualise, or...?
It was kind of a journey, because I suppose I'm quite interested in energy and sustainability. And my partner then, I suppose, had to be brought a bit on the journey. He was more, thinking, oh, we'll just put in the boilers, because heat pumps are and all that. It is kind of complex and new. So we kind of went on that journey together. But it was really a no-brainer. So and talking with our contractor, that it's just the way forward, making everything airtight, getting all the grants that are available, and just, especially with a fresh project like that we can start from scratch and get as much grants available. And also like know that it's future proofed so that you don't have to worry about it in 20 years time to go back and do it. So yeah, no, it was great. Like, and there was so many options for grants in the SEAI, you know, and for things that we had to do, like the roof and the internal insulation, and what you want in the end of the day is a warm, cozy home. I think growing up in Ireland, or whether you live in a student house at any point in your life or whatever, you know, there's always, you know, the cold, damp houses with the mold. Like, so it would just be so nice to just have that really cozy house that is just good for about 20, 30 years at least, like with triple glazed windows and
So it will be old, but it'll also feel brand new. You'll be super warm and cozy. There'll be no mold, triple glaze, not the single glaze with the condensation running down, hopefully. So you've been mentioning your contractors. So what was the first step? You engaged with an SEAI one-stop shop.
So even before that, we engaged with a conservation architect because it is so old. So we did want to know if we could kind of make it modern or what we could actually do. Because there's no point insulating that and doing it wrong and the house is destroyed. So she kind of gave us advice on what we could do and gave us the plans. And then from there, we met our contractor, and he actually was he was an approved contractor for the one-stop shop. So it just made going with the one-stop shop easier with Electric Ireland, because he knew the works. Like he knew he had just done an old cottage up as well. Like, so he had that experience. So we kind of really felt like we trusted him, you know, that it wasn't going to be, because, you know, you can hear some stories about doing up an old house and insulation, you know, it can go wrong basically. Yeah, no, we were really confident. So when we were picking our contractors, we were really keen to work with him. He just ticked all the boxes.
And sorry, I know we can hear Sam the dog chewing on his
in the background,
chewing on his treat in the background. So Electric Ireland Super Homes,
Sam is our dog, by the way. He's a Bernese Mountain dog who will be really happy with his underfloor heating.
Oh my
in
God,
the future.
you won't get him off.
Yeah.
So you engage with Electric Ireland Super Homes, and I suppose what's easy in a huge project like this is that they will look after all the grants for you.
And that's exactly why we went with them, because, and like being completely transparent, you know, there are more grants available when you go via the one-stop shop route, but you do actually have to pay a fee to go with them. But for me, I had done all the applications for the mortgage, for the derelict grant, which we're also getting. So I was like, I don't think I can do all the energy grants as well.
And more paperwork. It's just, it becomes quite overwhelming.
Yeah. Even though, like, you know, obviously I've heard great things about, you know, people getting grants via the SEAI and everything. But I was just like, no, I don't have that capacity in me to do any more admin applications. So yeah, we went to the one-stop shop and it's been great so far. We've had very minimal paperwork with them, and
and that's handy because you don't want to do any more paperwork. You're renovating an old home, but that's not the only thing, Hilda. You're also 9 months pregnant.
Yes, yes, we have a bit going on there now this year. So we're keen to get in the house, obviously for aforementioned reason. We're expecting a little surprise at the end of the month, so it's very exciting.
So you just have a few more weeks to go, and obviously being 9 months pregnant isn't easy, but you're also living in a mobile home right beside the house. How has that been?
It's like, I've actually found it nice. Like I see it as chapters. Like, so we lived in Australia, we met in Australia and we moved in together and lived by the beach. And like we lived actually in quite a small apartment, really. It was 2 beds. So we don't see it as much smaller than that. And we put on like a nice decking. So for when the weather is good, we often have family up and sit out. And we have a little blow-up jacuzzi out the back. So just...
You've pimped your caravan.
Yeah, we have. Trying to make the best out of it that we can. But no, it's been cozy, like, you know, it's because it's so small, easy to clean, easy to mess. But it's been an interesting chapter. But I am also looking forward to the end of that chapter.
And how have you been managing day-to-day life with obviously being 9 months pregnant, living in a mobile home, but with all this construction going on around you?
I leave like a lot of that to my partner. In fairness, I feel bad now he's not here today on the podcast, but he does a lot of that. But then the contractor will often say, "Are you sure now? Check with her because she's the boss." So then they'll check with me for, you know, choosing baths or where certain electricity things are going. But it's been really handy, like. And we've been able to just hop out if the plumber is there and they have a quick query. Where even one day I was like, where do we put the heat pump? And our contractor was like, oh, at the back of the house. And I was like, I happen to be there. I was like, no, on this other side. And then, you know, just little things like that you can...
So being on site is handy. So you can just
so handy.
A few steps and you're in the house and you can point out in real time instead of making a phone call to the contractor.
Yeah, literally. Or like they might call us out and, that the banister's not going to work this way. Do you want it, or not the banister, the staircase? Do you want it this way or this way? Yeah. And it just saves so much time that way in decisions.
That's amazing, because we did our house during COVID, and I remember getting a phone call from the plumber being like, do you want a bath or a shower? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And I'm making these decisions miles away. So it's amazing that you're able to like actually step in and look around and get a feel for the place. So obviously you're in the final stages of the renovation. I mean, we've had a walk through the house, you know, you can see it, you can feel it, you can imagine yourself being there. But I know you're due now in the next few weeks, but the house mightn't be ready. Where are you bringing the baby back to?
So we're actually bringing it back there and just...
to the mobile home. Yeah,
to the mobile home. And just to flag, we co-own the Bernese Mountain Dog, so the baby will be safe and there'll be plenty of room, because we live on the same entrance as my partner's mother-in-law. So he'll be down here nice and safe away from the baby, but which will give us more space, because we also have a little kitten that we rescued. But so yeah, it's a busy little mobile home. But we're bringing the baby back there because it's a little 2-bed and we've gotten used to it. So we've all the stuff down here, or down in his mother's house now, all the baby stuff. But yeah, I'll be busy, but hopefully it won't be for too long, just like a month or two, and then we'll be in. So
And what are you most excited about moving into the house finally after all this time?
Yeah, so obviously it'd be lovely to have like nice rooms and all that, and have family to be able to come up and stay a bit more, you know, with having extra bedrooms. But what I'm most excited about, I suppose, is like entertaining, you know, like I love cooking and having people over, really. So it'd be nice to just have the nice pots and pans and be able to cook for people and have them over, and really making the house a home, and a place that we don't even really want to leave from.
Tell me about some of the stuff that you've been repurposing and reusing.
So I think at times our contractor thinks we're very eccentric or mad, but we reused as much as we could the slates that were originally on the house. So and they're gorgeous. They're huge slates, so they're kind of, and they're, if anyone knows about slates, they're like €20 a slate or something. So it was great to be able to reuse them. So they're all on the front of the house. So we had to, unfortunately, we couldn't rescue them all because they break as you take them off. So we've newer ones at the back, but it was great to be able to salvage some of them. Also, actually, the wood in the roof, they said, was the best wood. You wouldn't be able to buy wood like that, a pitch pine or something. So we've been able to reuse that as well. So like the countertops you mentioned, there was an ash tree that fell during Storm Dara, and we were delighted because we loved the whole wood look. Like, we were not really into like plastic and more modern kind of things. So we're able to use that, or the tree that fell, to make table countertops for the kitchen and maybe some other bits as well throughout the house, like shelving. And then also actually above all the windows we've put kind of wood. So just to give it that real kind of country authentic look. And they all came from the joists that were in the kitchen and that were going across, so big kind of wooden beams. They're all above the windows and doors, upstairs and downstairs. And they really kind of give it that nice bit of character, and it's nice to know they were part of the original house. And that's actually where, like, in the servants' quarters, they used to hang, some of them had hooks, they used to hang like game on it, or like, you know, pheasants and stuff. So some of them actually have like holes in them where the hooks were. So it's pretty cool to kind of have that history still in the house.
And obviously it's been in your husband's family for years, so it's nice to have all those little reminders around the place and to honour the memories and the history and his family, and that obviously there's going to be a new baby now and you'll all be living in the house together, and you know, all of those stories are in there and you get to continue that on. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And has anything not gone to plan?
I suppose you just kind of pivot, as you know, there's always, oh, you actually can't have these windows because of fire safety, or you know, there's always kind of little things that you just pivot and make a quick decision. Like I suppose, for example, we wanted another room downstairs, but with the staircase, I suppose the plans, the drawing wasn't totally accurate, so we weren't able to do it that way. But then we were able to make a little room upstairs instead, like a little office. So you just kind of pivot as you go and change it up. Yeah, I suppose like we wanted that corner window upstairs, but that all glass. But our contractor was kind of saying they're not the best, like long term, and so then we just said let's not go with it. And you just kind of, and we actually in hindsight it would have been too modern for the house that we do have. So yeah, it's just making decisions together, and we're lucky we kind of agree on most things. Like, you know, we kind of both want it to be nice and old and authentic, and yeah, we just kind of agree most of the time, so I think that makes life easier.
I suppose that's a great attitude to have, to not be like steadfast in your decisions. And I suppose you could compare it to having a baby. People have very certain like birth plans and they don't always go the way you want them to. So you have to be flexible and you have to just do what is right at the time. So I suppose for other people going on this journey, that's good advice, to actually just be a bit flexible and to go with the flow and go where the journey takes you, because it doesn't always work out as you initially planned, and sometimes it works out for the better, which is, you know, hopefully what will happen with your amazing house. And I know you mentioned earlier on you got a number of grants, but just go through the energy upgrades that you did have carried out and why.
We got the derelict grant, and we also went through the one-stop shop with the SEAI. And there's a lot more grants available to you if you do go through the one-stop shop route. So we got external doors and windows, which is a big help. We got floor insulation, heat pump, and CH system, and you get a bonus as well with the heat pump, so extra money towards it. We got a grant for roof insulation, internal wall insulation, air tightness ventilation, and mechanical ventilation. So there's actually a good few grants. So it was a good option to go through.
Brilliant. So you've prepped the house. It's going to be a B or B1 at least, and then you can add on renewables. So you're actually extending the lifespan of the house and saving even more money down the road, because with solar you'll save on electricity bills, same with the EV grant or the EV charger. So that's just absolutely fantastic. And you said that you plan on being in the home. That was one of my other questions, was, is this your forever home? So this is obviously your dream home. Tell me about your vision for the interiors, and is your Pinterest absolutely jam-packed with inspiration?
Yeah, well, it's definitely, we want it to be obviously our forever home, and it'll be our baby's the 5th generation of growing up in that house, or of the family, which is really nice. But yeah, vision, I suppose just that country decor, kind of old world, like we saw a toilet, you know, that has the chain that you pull down. So, but yeah, there will be some modern aspects, like the bath, you know, I kind of want a nice big bath, but I think it will go with it, because it is, just slightly mixing that modern and old world. But we've that country walls, all, you know, the kind of white lime dash walls. So just cozy is my, I love kind of when things are cozy, like fluffy blankets and salt lamps. So just that nice kind of warm vibe when you come in the door. If it is a cool day, maybe the fire lit. So yeah, no, it's...
And where are you getting all of this inspiration from? Are you going on Instagram? Are you going on Pinterest? Where do you find your interior inspiration from?
A lot of it, Instagram and Facebook. You kind of do get those sponsored ads all the time for stuff. We both are a bit different, so like nothing too mainstream. Like for, let's say, the sink, I kind of want a bowl on top of a
dresser.
On top of a dresser. Those, things like that. Just a little bit different. Like lovely big cooker, one of those kind of like a Stanley range cooker, and you can get quite energy efficient ones now these days, which is good. It's just that kind of country warm where you come in and you'd sit and you'd have a cup of tea, have a cake, kind of that kind of vibe. Yeah, that smells of food.
Oh, and obviously you've been very sustainable. The home is going to be fairly energy efficient. You've reused a tree for your countertops and you've reused the slates in the roof. But in terms of interiors, how will you keep your sustainability focus there? I mean, will you be buying secondhand furniture? Is that something you're interested in?
So, well, the kitchen units itself are actually going to be secondhand. So we're lucky to kind of get them. But I think some things we might salvage or get secondhand, like Belfast sinks. And we're always keeping an eye on Dundeal for if we know what we want. But things like the couch and all that will be new, but we're kind of going with the approach of buy once and buy good. Like, we'd like to get the good pots and pans and that will last, so that we're not kind of just buying stuff that we will end up throwing out. So just that, kind of buy once, buy good. And obviously, like something like the table, that lasts us hopefully a lifetime,
And that table's going to be made out of the tree.
Yeah, the ash tree that fell. So
that's amazing. So you're nearly there.
Yeah.
And it's your forever home. It's your dream home. It's going to be tailor-made to you and your partner and your new baby. Where do you see yourself in the house? What do you think of, and what is the feeling you get when you imagine yourself in there? Where are you and what are you doing?
I'm either on the really comfortable couch, because after, I suppose that's the only con I could really say the mobile home is, the couches, there's two like separate couches that are built in, like they're not like that cozy or you can't like cuddle on them. So I think it'd be lovely just to have that big comfy couch. So I see myself there a lot. And then also like just the kitchen, entertaining, cooking, good pots and pans, nice teapots like Le Creuset and Nicholas Moss, that kind of vibe, and just family and friends around. So, and
you'll be able to watch your baby growing up in that house. I mean, you'll be cuddling on the couch with the baby on your chest, and then you'll be in the kitchen and the baby is a kid eating a big bowl of pasta from that table, and you'll be able to watch your family grow throughout the house. So it's an amazing story, and Hilda, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks a million for chatting to us.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me.
So that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And if you'd like to find out more about any of the grants or schemes mentioned on this episode, you can head over to the SEAI website. And there's also some links in the show notes. And finally, we also have a special bonus episode on the feed all about green loans and finance. So check that out if you're starting to look at the numbers for your renovation plans.